All right, so John Hare is the divine command response to the virtue ethicist, and he's going to say to the large extent that he agrees with Brad Kallenberg's chapter, but he thinks that he sometimes exaggerates and has a result, though, that he agrees with points that he is trying to make, and he cannot endorse his expression of them. And so he says that in the reply, he's going to focus on where he disagrees, at least with his formulation.
Right. So he thinks that Kallenberg exaggerates on how he formulates his virtue ethics. And so he's going to try to clear that up as he goes through his particular, his critique here. He says one important question is about body habituation. Kallenberg says a good nose for telling good from evil is not something one is born with. It's not something one can simply turn on like a light switch. Rather, skilled judgment is developed slowly by bodily training. That was Kallenberg's emphasis here. The body is important here, right? And so Hare says that sometimes this is true, and it is probably true that the body should never be ignored, but often the kind of training or habituation that is required is not bodily, right? He says often has much to do with giving priority in our minds to some good rather than some other good, right? For example, giving priority to finishing reading a philosophy article over watching the next episode of an enjoyable television series. So it's more than just, he's suggesting, forcing our bodies by habit to do something. Sometimes it's a changing of the mind, a giving a priority in our minds to some good over some other good.
Mm-hmm. I don't appreciate when books attack me like this. It's not enjoyable. I pay good money for them to let me know how to attack other people, not to be attacked myself. So, yes. The most important area that he has and to disagree with Kallenberg's formulation is a discussion of the human telos. The telos is the endpoint of humanity. What is the purpose for a human, for all humans? He says, Kallenberg says, virtue ethics claims that if we had a clear grasp of the telos, moral obligation would be straightforward. And so what Hare is saying is that his point is that we could know the human telos and not know our own individual telos. So you might know the purpose of humanity is, to know God and enjoy him forever. But what does that mean to you as, a person living in year one or year 1000 as a farmer? You're in year 1900s as a statesman. You're a stay-at-home mom in 2022, or you're fighting on the front lines of the Third Moon War in 3250.
Right.
What is the individual telos? What is your individual purpose end? And so each person, and church history is robust on this, is not always the same for everyone. There are people who run to and live to fight another day, and there are those who are willingly give themselves over to be captured, to be thrown to the lions and in Caesar's auditorium to be a spectacle to the masses. Which way do we go?
Right.
So he's saying that Kallenberg doesn't provide, with his theory, the necessary telos, the endpoint to the
individuals.
Right.
For the individuals. Even if we know the loss of humanity or whatever, there's still an individual element that he doesn't think Kallenberg gives us to allow us to come up with what the virtues are.
Mm-hmm. So there are different good ways to be human. And if that's true, then the work for ethicists is not done even in agreement and is reached about the common essence, humanity, and destination. The question is still open. Which of the good human ways of living is the right way for me?
Right.